Feels awkward to look directly into the camera. I'm doing this because I've been wanting to do this for a really, really long time, and I haven't really done it. About 2 years ago now, a little less than 2 years, a year and a half, I went through a string of fairly life-altering events. I had a major breakup with a girlfriend who I thought might possibly be the girl I'd stay with the rest of my life. That was a bit rough. A few months later, a relative of mine committed suicide. An older brother, someone I looked up to. And that affected me fairly profoundly, and also gave me motivation to maybe get on with my life and do things I've wanted to do but have just put off and pussyfooted around. And then a few months after that, I got into a fairly major car crash where I hit my head, and I had a fairly severe concussion that I had to deal with for about 6 months. I was out. Had to go back, live with my family for a while. I was living on the family farm in a trailer, and that was actually a great time. I did lots of thinking, and all those events compounded and precipitated in my deciding to take charge a little bit with the direction of my life and do things that I've been afraid to do or putting off doing, or things that I just thought somehow in the back of my head would just magically happen. Eventually I would just develop the will, and I'd be like an unstoppable torrent, you know, the water pressure would build up and the dam would collapse and I would just come rushing out onto the world. But of course, the real world doesn't work like that. So I decided to give myself a kick in the ass and start making videos and start on an entrepreneurial venture and get back into fitness, get in shape, and do all the things I wanted to do. That lasted for a while. That was great. That was good. And then it didn't end abruptly. It just sort of, like many of those things, petered out. And then I moved to the city. I have a new long-term partner. I don't know if any of that's relevant, but life went on. I got a job in the city and things were going okay. They were going fine. We were getting by. And then a few weeks ago, I was walking our dog and I came across a dead body in the woods. Someone had hanged themselves, which is what my brother did. That's how he killed himself. And that had a pretty strong effect on me. I didn't think it would. At the time, I was strangely okay with the whole thing. I was calm. I went and checked the body, saw that the guy was in fact dead, and then I called the police, and the police offered me therapy. They said, are you okay? Maybe you want to see a therapist. And I declined because I thought I was fine. I said, no, I'm fine. I'll just go home. And then a few days later, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't get the image out of my head. And obviously it had a very, very strong, intense connection with my brother. I kept on thinking about him. And ultimately, that got me back to thinking how I was wasting my own life. I'm almost 29, and that means I'm almost a year away from being 30, and that is starting to bother me a little bit. It's starting to, I guess, frighten me. And it's mainly because I haven't achieved many of the things I've wanted to achieve. I'm an unbelievably ambitious person, but I'm also excessively lazy and self-indulgent. And I think I also have this this notion that things are just going to work out, as if, I don't know, things will just magically happen of their own accord, and that all my ambitions will come to fruition. That's not the kind of world we live in. So the point I'm getting at is the reason I'm making this video right now is because I want to start monitoring myself getting the things done I want to get done. I recently started a coffee roasting business, so I want to keep track of that